Good morning. It's November 28th. It's deep autumn in the land of steady habits. I'm Mark Stewart, and later tonight I'll be in attendance at Yale for a debate about drug policy. Last time I spoke at Yale, this was in September, I reminded everybody in the audience of the overriding principle, freedom. And I want to put that in everyone's mind once again, especially the drug warriors, because they have forgotten the principle of America that we let Americans choose. The federal Constitution and everything we've done since its enactment to flourish choice has helped us. We don't let our federal government dictate what adults do to ourselves or for ourselves. And it is ourselves. Marijuana use doesn't harm other people. You don't see people who are stoned committing armed robbery. You don't see people on drugs committing violent crime. If they happen to get in a car, they drive really slow. They're not a menace to others. That's the function of government, protect others from harm. In our drug war, we actually cause harm. There have been too many instances of wrongful takings of property, harm by shootings, even some deaths in drug raids that were unjustified, even where a state had made it something illegal. The use of their force far outweighs the benefit. I don't even know what the benefit is. Letting adults have consensual sales and toking, we don't see a harm. And look, the proof may be that we've had at least a 40-year experiment with people who toked in the 1970s, and they're doing fine, okay? They're the leaders of businesses. They're our college professors. They are esteemed congressmen. All right, maybe not esteemed. Marijuana use doesn't harm other people, and it's dubious whether it even harms you. But to the extent maybe it does, is it any worse than a lot of candy? Okay? Stuff's good, but it causes obesity, and we know obesity leads to shorter lifespans. How often do you see somebody in their 90s who's fat? We know that other things cause even greater harm. Chewing tobacco, we allow it. It causes lip cancer. Clear correlation, clear causation. We know that driving cars more than 50 miles an hour will cause some deaths, 25,000 a year in most years across America, far more than deaths caused by illicit drugs. Those people in the 70s and 80s who toked up and are doing fine are a testament to why not only is marijuana not a gateway drug, it's the prohibition, if anything, that might make it a gateway. Because those who try it, a few hours later are fine, back to normal. They say, what's the big fuss about? Legitimately. And that's what I ask Bill Bennett, otherwise good guy, but absolutely wrong on the drug war. The drug war ensnares good people. It is not worth it. It's also not constitutional. And I want to go back to that principle. Our Constitution limits the powers of the federal government intentionally. And there's nowhere in these 3 pages of our U.S. Constitution that gives Congress the power to restrict drugs. Nowhere. Don't give me general welfare clause. It's a meaningless clause. Don't give me all laws necessary and proper, because those are to effect things that the Congress has power to do. And please don't give commerce clause. That's for interstate commerce that is directed about disputes between state governments. The federal government does not have any business legislating in health of Americans. Why has this persisted for so long? Drug use, drug legalization tends to be favored by young people. A lot of you reading this now, but you don't vote. Look at the statistics there. Ages 18 to 25. You won the right to vote after a lot of efforts in the 1960s, and you haven't used it in force like older people do. If there was legislation to make these illegal, you'd see the 60, 70, 80-year-olds out in force against that. I want my Reese's. Well, I want you to be voting, and I'm going to give you a pinch. Not on the tush, but anywhere else on your body or in your brain that inspires a pinch to action, that at minimum you register and vote your sentiments. But you have that power of the internet far more than the 70 and 80-year-olds use to influence. Use that to point out the silliness of federal drug legislation that keeps adults from doing things that probably enhance their lives at times, and that is what America has always asked for. You want to be like any other totalitarian country and make things illegal just because you don't like it, you become tyrannical. Go back to a tyrannical regime. Leave us alone.